Welcome to the 2024 Winter Classic Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. Now, here are your hosts, Dan Olds and Addison Snell.
Dan Olds here, and it's time for the next to the last 2024 Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition Studio Update Show. And who am I joined by? It's Brent Gorda again. Hey, Brent, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dan. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. If you do many more of these, might have to fit you for a blazer or maybe a vest.
A vest.
Start you out.
Yeah, we just ripped the sleeves off your old one, and we'll use that.
Good point, but this is my only one because these are completely indestructible.
Ah, good.
Machine washable. You can't do anything to them except get them near any sort of spark or flame. Totally synthetic, go up like a fireball.
How would they do in a New Mexico bunker?
Did not have it then, just in case. Anyway, what are we here for? We are here to go over the scores and update the leaderboard after the Google GROMACS challenge, which was quite difficult, as you can see.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, we deal with GROMACS a lot in benchmarks. They're used in procurements by major sites around the world. So this is the real deal. This is the real stuff.
What kind of constraint does GROMACS have? What does it use the most of?
What does it use the most of? That's a good
memory,
question.
CPU, not I/O, I would imagine.
Usually not. Usually all of these codes are memory bound. That's where we're doing really well with these HBM products, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But memory or memory bandwidth bound?
Bandwidth.
Okay.
HPC doesn't stress the memory near like AI.
Unless you want to put a whole model in there. Yeah. I mean, which would be the ultimate. But I've always heard, I forget who told me this, might be Dr. Jack, but if you're doing HPC correctly, memory bandwidth is the wall that you run into.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Usually. But take a look at the bandwidth of these GPUs, man. They're over the top.
Yes.
Right? CPUs are in the 400 megabytes a second. GPUs are in the 5 terabytes a second, 5 gigabytes a second.
But that's using like an NVLink type of thing, right? Or not? I don't know. Why are we going into
NVLink is between GPUs.
That's what I'm saying.
Within the GPU, it's HBM.
Within, absolutely. But that data's got to come from somewhere, and it's got to go through somewhere.
I think it flows better over InfiniLink. That's AMD's answer to NVLink.
Okay. Driving on, let's get into the results. As usual, we take a look at last time's leaderboard to see what's what. And we got everybody on. It's a good thing, right? Yeah. Still, the battle for Texas is raging. Less than 30 points between the Red Raiders and the Matadors.
You know, I predict they're going to have a hard time in the next round, though, Dan, you know.
You think so?
That eclipse is coming through. I couldn't even get a flight out of Austin.
No kidding. Wow. Okay. Fayetteville's hanging out there, still within reach. And actually, anybody is within reach because things can happen. So there you go. That's our last leaderboard. Let's get to updating it. So GROMACS challenge still had the same things going on as the last thing with midterms and jobs and school and life and spring breaks, all that kind of stuff. So some teams had some trouble on this. No problem. But I have talked and they're still out there pitching. And actually, one of the things I found out that I want to throw out there for anybody who sees this, the reason that some of these teams, and all of them up and down the leaderboard, have some struggles is because Linux isn't a major part of their computer science curriculum.
Really?
Some of them are learning Linux right now for this competition.
Wow.
That surprised me a lot.
Is there no command line tools used these days? It's all the fancy graphical tools?
Don't know. It doesn't.
Wow.
See, I bet there's some command line. There's got to be some, but there isn't. I would think that introduction to Linux in computer science would be first year, maybe early second year.
Yeah, for sure.
But no. So
Weird.
I'm going to try and assemble something. So if anybody out there has some ideas, I'm easy to get in touch with. Driving on. Middle of the pack, those scores are not going up a lot. We're looking at, a couple of 30s and a couple of 20s.
Yep.
And those...
But wait, both of the Texas teams are in there.
Yes.
They're your leaders are now in the middle of the pack on this round.
They were. And Fayetteville was right up there as well.
Yeah, top three are now in the middle of the pack here.
Well, on this challenge, we got to see, as we will, if the impact of this on their scores, on their overall scores.
Can't help. Yep.
Can't help. Let's take a look at the top. Ooh. Huh. University of New Mexico Lobos come out of hiding. This is the first challenge they've won outright in the competition. Santa Cruz sticks in second, which is good. And the Channel Islands High Performance Dolphins Deluxe pulled in third.
They did pretty well.
Yeah. They did. Nice.
And a big gap to Texas Tech.
Big gap. Yes. But our question is, what does it do to the overall leaderboard? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, we're taking a look first at last time, like we showed a couple of minutes ago, just to refresh your memories. Now, taking a look, we're starting at the bottom as we always do, but let's go ahead and jump to the middle of the pack. Yeah, it does look like the Matadors in Fayetteville took a little damage from this one.
Well, but the Dolphins are in the same place after winning the round.
Yeah.
There was a gap above them, clearly. Interesting.
There was, but they did not submit on AWS.
Yeah.
And that's, 0 out of 100.
That hurts.
That does hurt. Can you stand the suspense, Brent? Or should I go ahead and flip the slide?
Here we go. Hit the button.
Let's see who's in the top three. Ooh. Santa Cruz makes a big move from their traditional third or so and vaulted into the lead.
Not a huge lead, but they're there.
No,
Absolutely.
It's very, very close. And look at the Lobos. That is not even close to out of reach with 100 points left.
Yeah, looks like there's 3 or 4 that could make it in the end. Depends how it goes.
Things happen.
Excellent. Tight race.
It is. Only thing left now is the interview. Right. And it's worth 100. It's going to settle a few things. I do think the battle for Texas is settled. They're both really good teams, but I don't see the Matadors, even with a perfect interview, making up that many points on the Red Raiders.
Yep.
Battle for New Mexico, little chance there, I think. It's within the realm of possibility, and certainly Fayetteville could get into the top 3, or the trophy round, as I call it. So stuff to be decided and still some learning to be done. Actually, it's the reporting on what they've learned that's left. So
and when is all that going to come in? When is your final show here?
We're going to have the final. We're going to be recording it Thursday, April 4th, but that'll probably be that'll probably happen before this is posted. It's one of those time travel paradoxes, Brent.
As long as you're moving forward in time, I can follow you. If you start moving backward in time, that's hard.
That throws me as well. But rest assured, it'll be recorded and people will be able to see it. Same place they were able to see this, either on our website or from social media or from our pals at HPC Wire. Right. So there you go.
Should I be calling my bookie? Do I have inside information now?
You know, I keep thinking about doing what I used to do, throwing up a betting pool.
Yeah.
Not hard to do, but time is the issue with everything else. So anyway, follow us on social media, HPC Wire, our media partner, all the handles that you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you, Brent. Really appreciate it. And everybody, be sure and tell all your friends and your enemies, and stay tuned for the big finish. This is gonna be close.